What up, B Squad? It's me, JB, and we are here today, you guys, with another brand new review for Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, you guys. Season 3, episode number 8, I believe. And this episode is titled Reckonings, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and then having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also by turning on your post notifications, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Raising Kanan, shall we? All right, you guys, so we got 2 more episodes left, and then we are done. And you guys know that. So if you don't know, I believe it's season 3 of BMF, that premieres March 1st, you guys. What I will say, I'm not necessarily, saying that I'm going to do this, but I probably will go back and watch season 1 and 2 of BMF. And, maybe, I'm not saying yes or no that I will review it, but I definitely might watch it. But this episode of Raising Kanan, let's go ahead and get into it, because you guys, I thought this was the ending of this episode. Let me start right there with the ending of this episode, you guys, because I saw it on Twitter Saturday. I was just minding my good old business, and when I was minding my good old business, somebody had posted it, because they posted it as a meme, the ending of this week's episode. And I was like, fuck, man, like, what the hell, y'all? That is the one thing about Power that I hate, is that people just spoil it. Now, we'll start this episode up talking about Jukebox and Butter, right? So we see, as Jukebox, Aisha, and Crystal, they are doing this dance rehearsal. They're in this dance rehearsal, right? Actually, no. We actually first saw Juke was with Aisha, and Aisha was practicing the dance moves, right? And Aisha is beating herself up, saying, she's not gonna get the moves. And Juke is just giving her, words of positive affirmations, like, girl, you got it. You just got to get out your head, right? She's like, if you get out your head, you could be the best dancer in the group. And then, she said, like I said, Aisha is basically saying she sucks at it. And so Juke told her, no, you don't, right? So then while they're sitting in Jukebox's room, Aisha notices the picture. You guys remember season 1 when Jukebox and Nicole went down to the mall and they got in that photo booth and took those pictures? Well, she noticed those pictures of Nicole and she's like, oh, so you like white girls? And then, Jukebox said, no, she just liked Nicole. And, Aisha's asking her, so why did you and Nicole break up? And Jukebox was like, we didn't break up. She passed away. And, Aisha's like, I'm sorry about that. And Juke was like, you didn't do nothing, so there's nothing to be sorry for. And Aisha was like, but, you lost someone, and I'm just giving my condolences. So, yeah. So then we see them in the dance rehearsal, right? And they're practicing to this song. Song sounded good. The girls look good. Then you got that bitch Pebbles. That bitch Pebbles, right? So they finish the dance. They finish the rehearsal. And then Pebbles, old raggedy ass, asked the girl next to them, like, do you think that they should rehearse it again? And she was like, I think they got it. And Juke was like, yeah, if we tried again, we probably go mess it up, right? And the bitch Pebbles, she liked that. So she's like, you know what? Because you said that and you were vocal, you going to be the lead of Butter. I was like, ooh, why she say that? Because y'all know Crystal's old hating ass ain't going to go for that, right? I was like, Crystal ain't going to like that. And lo and behold, Crystal didn't like it. She's like, wait a minute, because she spoke up and said something, now she's the lead. And that bitch Pebbles was like, well, I'm putting her as the lead for now. But at any point, if I so choose, I can change anybody and make anybody, like, you could be the lead. Aisha could be the lead. It could go back to Juke. It could be any of y'all. I was like, ugh, this woman. So we see Aisha and Jukebox as they're leaving the rehearsal. So when they're leaving the rehearsal, they notice Crystal and Kanan are making out. And Aisha was like, he didn't waste no time. I was like, girl, he wasn't wasting no time. He was doing it in your face the last time you saw him. And, Juke was like, she'll go over there and beat him up, basically, right? And she was like, no, don't worry about it. I got you. I was like, see, Crystal, this is why I say I think you were sending a little bit of mixed signals, but hey, if they like it, I love it, right? So then we see Crystal and Kanan. They are over at Fame's apartment, right? And they done the do, I guess, right? So Crystal is asking, Kanan if Jukebox has mentioned her. I was like, do you want Jukebox or are you obsessed with Jukebox because she's now the leader of the group, right? And she said, Aisha, not Aisha, Crystal was saying that she doesn't want Jukebox to come in between them. I was like, that's his family, you little dumbass, right? So there's a knock at the door, and Kanan went and grabbed a gun to answer the door. But then he looked out the peephole, and he noticed it was a social worker, right? So the social worker is shown up because Rock has called her and told her Kanan ain't been home. So the social worker told Kanan, like, you got 24 hours to get your ass back home before I come back over here with the police, right? Oof. Why did sis do that? I do not know because we saw another scene with Kanan and the Black Michael Myers, right? And they done pulled up on that woman, and I don't know what the fuck the Black Michael Myers said to that woman, but whatever he said to her, it spooked the fuck out of her, and that bitch skedaddled. I was like, damn, lady, what did he say to you? Or was it just him in general? Because, I mean, him in general is just scary as fuck, right? Just scary. Now, we'll pause here, move forward. Also, you guys, forgot to mention some other things when it came down to Jukebox them, right? So, I forgot to mention that at one point in the episode, Jukebox went down to the recruitment office, right? So Jukebox has already signed the paperwork at this point, but she's asking them about, if she wants to basically renege on her, her contractual obligations. And the sergeant was like, it's harder to get out than it is to get in. Also, they had a rehearsal at one point, right? And little bitch Crystal was gonna send her friends to go beat up Jukebox, right? So the Jukebox couldn't show up to practice. Baby, Jukebox wore both of them girls out. And when she got there, she said, your friends, they went home with lumps on them and they weak. Just like you, I was like, come on, Juke, whoop them hoes' ass, right? But that's that. Now we'll pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So the next thing that we had is, it's interesting. Burke's dad is going to turn into Burke. I feel like it, right? Now we haven't saw Nicole's dad since earlier in I think like the first episode before she got into the group, right? Because he was the one that mentioned the audition for the group to Jukebox, right? So we see as Shannon's dad went over to Nicole's dad's crib, right? And they're talking, and Burke's dad is starting to question a little bit of things. I was like, ooh, hopefully you don't make the same mistake that your daughter made. Because if you do, you're going to see the end of a bullet too, just like she did, right? So Detective Burke, well, former retired Burke, right? He's talking to Nicole's dad, and he's telling her dad that the things that she was accused of doing, those are not things that Shannon would have done. And Nicole's dad is like, yeah, I at one point thought that it wasn't what it was, but with Nicole's mom, he went along with her until Detective Howard came. Someone came up to him and was telling him whatever it looks like, it is what it is, right? And so he was like, her dad, Shannon's dad was like, who told you that, right? And he was like, I was told not to say. He said, Malcolm Howard. I was like, again, like I said, I hope that you don't suffer the same fate that your daughter faced, because if you do, ooh, sir, it ain't gonna be looking good for you, because you're gonna be kicking up daisies just like your daughter, right? Also, moving over to Howard. Now, you guys remember that in last week's episode, Howard was told that he's basically a slew-in for that position that the other person, in narcotics, right? So they're giving him more intel about what's going on. And at this point, what's going on is the feds are starting to piece puzzles together, and all roads are leading to Marvin because they're linking Marvin to people at the Baisley, South Jamaica, and they're leading him to everything. And I was like, oh. And the guy was like, the only reason why I'm telling you this is because, you about to take that position. So I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm doing it anyway. Now, I'm curious to see what Howard is going to do with this information. Because I found it interesting last week when he talked to Rock and he never mentioned anything to Rock at all about the detectives asking him about Marvin. I thought that was interesting last week. So I'm wondering if he's holding everything close to the vest before he reveals what he knows to Rock. Very interesting. But yeah, you guys, that's really all we got. So I definitely want you guys to tell me your thoughts and your opinions down in the comment section, you guys, and we'll discuss those there. But we're going to pause here and we're going to move forward, you guys. And I guess we'll start to wrap up the episode. All right, you guys. Now, the episode, it opened up with Lou's old drunk ass, right? So Lou is outside of Rock's house and he's screaming, "What you want me to do now, Rock? Who you want me to take out? You know, we ain't talking about they killers and all of that stuff." I was like, Lou. And she went out there and got him and told him, "Get your drunk ass in the house." I was like, exactly, Lou. Somebody take the bottle away from Lou at this point because Lou is spiraling. I saw it after he did what he did last week when having to take out Scrap's mom. I was like, yeah, I think my boy's going to be on a downward spiral going forward. And I called it. And here we are. So we see as, Rock had Marvin come over to the crib, right? And this nigga's in the bed just passed out. And so Marvin feels like at this point, Lou needs a program so he can have somebody to talk to. And Rock was like, that's the nigga's problem. That's all he's doing is talking. I was like, exactly. He's running his mouth. Like, y'all got to figure out a way to put a cap on what he's doing. And I don't know what that is. I don't know how they're going to do it because, short of just taking the bottle away from him, that's the only thing I can come up with because what else y'all going to do? The nigga just runs his mouth. Like, literally is running his mouth. But, yeah. So after that, Rock told Marvin that she called their mom to come over and basically babysit him because she has to go down and she has to have a conversation with Joaquin, right? And so she's going to do that and their mama's going to be there. I was like, you going to trust her to watch Lou? And so she also told Marvin about the situation. She's like, I saw Kanan with Ronnie. Well, no, she didn't see him. She knows that there's something going on between Kanan and Ronnie, and she wants for Marvin to figure it out, right? And Marvin told her, well, I know that, Kanan is selling reefer. And she was like, Ronnie ain't fucking with no reefer. And I was like, exactly. Ronnie is not fucking with the weed. But hey, it is what it is, right? So she told him, you get on that. Oh, not Joaquin. Joaquin is Juliana's cousin, Quan. She's gonna go talk to Quan, right? And that's that. So the mama was over there, right? And Rock was like, when he wakes up, make sure that he does not leave this place, right? And so the mom was like, so you got some money from a bit? And Rock went in her purse. I think Rock gave that woman a 20. I was like, Rock, now your old trifling, grimy ass mama want more than a $20 bill. That lady wants a lot more than that, but okay. And I was thinking to myself, Rock, you giving her this little piddly ass money. You know that if your brother wake up, he's good as gone out the door because your mama wants more than whatever you just handed to her, right? So that's that. So Rock left and we see Marvin. So Marvin is watching Kanan and Ronnie. So Kanan had given one of the couriers something to take somewhere. And the courier, he was off and Marvin followed in behind that courier. And he went to this one place. He knocked on the door and then he went in. And when he came back out, Marvin just knocked that nigga right off that moped. I was like, God damn. So he found out that they're moving heroin. They say heroin, but he said heroin, right? And then we move back over to Rock's them crusty ass, raggedy ass mama. I don't know what that bitch had burned. She looked like she burned some toast and some eggs, and she gonna sit there and talking to Luton about this. This is pathetic. I was like, lady, you're pathetic as well. You bumming money from your kids. Like, you don't have a job. What do you do with your day that you have to bum money from your kids, right? So Lou is walking out the house and she's like, your sister told me not to let you go. I tell her that I tried to stop you. I was like, oh wow. Again, Rock, this is because you gave that woman pennies on a dollar. But hey, it is what it is, you guys. Now, I want to pause here real quick and want to move forward. All right, you guys. So we see Rock. So Rock is having the meeting with Quan, right? And, you know, he's showing her what they got from one of the couriers. And it's the same thing that Marvin was able to find. It was like these little, you guys know, like how you go to a play or something and they give you those little cards and they just rip them. And like if you go to a fair or something, it's one of those kind of cards, right? It's one of those, not cards, but like, it's a ticket. That's what it was. It's a ticket, right? I can't remember what the ticket said, but Quan is telling Rock that they got competition and he needs her to get a handle on it. And she said, it's already handled. So he asked her, and mind you, she saw the little tickets, and she said, I'm gonna take this with me, right? So she took the tickets with her, and Quan was also talking to her about how much she's buying, and Rock is like, well, at this point, I'm still, you know, trying to build up the operation at this point, and he was like, he don't really like that at all. So then Rock went back to Marvin, and she's telling Marvin that you know they need to find out whoever the person is that's selling, you know, giving these tickets out. And Marvin looked at her like, that's Kanan. And she was like, wait a minute, so my competition is my son? And he was like, yeah. And he also asked her, so once again, Marvin is still on the mindset that when it comes to Lou, they need to take care of Lou before they do anything else. And Rock feels like absolutely not. We need to figure out these trucks and then we can figure out that nigga later. I was like, Rock, I don't necessarily know that that's the right move to make. But I mean, hey, if that's what you want to go with, girlfriend, I mean, I ain't gonna tell you boo, cat, dog, especially the way that you ended this episode, right? Now, we also saw Rock as she was talking to I don't know who she was talking to. It was the funniest. It was the funniest scene to me, you guys, and it may be out of order, but it's the funniest scene to me because there is this scene in this episode where she was talking to one of the Asian men, and she was trying to broker a deal with him, right? And his brother is over there in the corner, and he was like, "You're not gonna act like I don't have 50% of this business. I'm gonna tell mom." And she was like, "I think you're gonna be in trouble with your mom." And he was like, "Man, my mom is dead." And he's talking to this psychic who's basically making him think that, you know, my mom is doing this and all that. I was like, that shit was hilarious to me, you guys. That scene took me the hell out. But basically what this guy wants is he wants the same deal that, you know, Rock has with Quan. And she was like, no, your deal is your deal and Quan's deal is his deal. And he was like, okay, well, so he's basically playing hardball with Rock, right? And Rock is like, it's only one of two choices. Either you take that deal or no deal at all. And then we saw Marvin. So Marvin is following this guy, right? And so he's following this guy. This guy has I guess like a hooker or a lady of the night, right? Then we see Lou's old drunk ass. So Lou is on the side of a building taking a piss. And I was just like, Lou. So then these two white boys go up to Lou. They act like they ain't acting like they gonna rob him. They were trying to rob Lou, right? They got a pocket knife. Child, Lou pulled out that gun and just started pop, 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 pop. I was like, Lou, what's going on, Lou? Lou. And then the fool fell back and spilled the beer on him. I was like, what? I don't think he was, whatever he was drinking, he spilled it on him. I was like, oh my God, will somebody please get Lewis Thomas? That is so funny because that was my uncle's name, Lewis Thomas. Lewis Thomas Staley, and my uncle James. But yeah, somebody get Lou Thomas. Somebody get Lou. Like, I'm just over Lou. You guys know I like Lou, right? But Marvin, it's so interesting though, right? Because in the beginning, like season 1 and 2, I couldn't stand Marvin. But now season 3, I love Marvin, right? I absolutely love Marvin. But and it's not that I dislike Lou. It's just Lou at this point is just a loose cannon, and I just don't know what Rock them are gonna do, right? Now, we also back over to Rock. So Rock went to go see Pernessa, and she's talking to Pernessa. Everything is good between she and Pernessa, but what she's doing with Pernessa is she's trying to figure out like who is Ronnie working with, and Pernessa's telling her like, girl, I got the fuck away from that house. I don't know. Ronnie is standing over there. He got a girlfriend now. And she was like, you got a girlfriend? She was like, yeah. She was like, what do you know about that? She's like, girl, I don't know nothing about that. She said, but I did see him the other day with that bitch from the bodega. And she's like, which was nasty. I was like, girl, wasn't it ever nasty? I was just glad you got your motherfucking ass. Oh, Pernessa. Oh, Nessa. Because I just thought about it. Especially with what happened at the end of the episode. I'm wondering if he's going to link that back to Pernessa and go after her. I actually like Pernessa, but neither here nor there, right? So Rock ended up leaving. So then we see Marvin. So the guy that Rock was talking to, his name is Terry, right? And Terry and this woman was in the room. Baby, they would get ready to go to Pound Town, right? Until click, click, click. You see the flash going off, and the man was like, what the fuck is going on? It's Marvin. So Marvin is like, so my sister tried to make a deal with you, right? But you wanted to play hardball with my sister. Well, guess what? If you don't want to play with my sister, I'm going to develop this film, and I'm just going to give it to your wife. So the choice is yours, Terry. Make a deal with my sister, or your wife get these pictures. So I'm like, Terry ain't got much of a choice, right? Now, we moved back over to Rock, right? So we saw Rock. So Rock met up with Joaquin, and she's telling him about, Juliana. And so he's telling Rock like, okay, in order for me to make the move on Juliana, I need confirmation before I give you my approval. And she was like, okay, cool. You know where to find me. You guys, this scene right here is what kind of broke me, because I was like, fuck. Like, I thought that Gerald was, but I realized it's not that Gerald wants to go against Marvin. Gerald's hand has been forced, right? So Gerald and Marvin were at a diner with the little girls, and they were talking, and Gerald is questioning him about, bulletproof records, right? And he's talking about he's had some contacts at the NYPD, and Marvin is like, wait a minute, what the fuck are you talking about, some contacts at the NYPD? Stop doing that, right? And one of the little girls was coming outside of the line. He said, stay outside the line, baby, because you're getting outside the line like your daddy. And then towards the end of the episode, we see as the NYPD, they pulled up to Gerald's place, basically saying to Gerald, if you don't give us any information on Marvin, we're going to put you in jail. I was like, y'all wait a minute. No. Wait a minute. Because I was looking at those NYPD officers, you guys. Let me know in the comment section, you guys. Are those the same NYPD officers from the ones that's been fucking with Rock? Or are those the ones that's been at the precinct? I cannot remember, because I know that they look familiar. I just can't remember who they are. They definitely looked familiar. Let me know in the comment section, you guys. So, the end of the episode, you guys. Raquel, baby, when I tell y'all that Raquel Thomas is a bad bitch, she's a bad bitch. Actually, I'm going to hold off on that. because I realized that I missed something. So we're gonna pause here, and now we're gonna move forward and actually wrap up the episode, and we'll finish it with Rock, you guys. So we see Kanan, the Black Michael Myers, and Pops and Snaps, right? So they offering Kanan something to drink, right? And he said, "Nah, I'm good." And Pops and Snaps, and I think at this point, I believe Pops and Snaps know that Def Con is not Kanan's father, because they said that he's like his dad because his dad didn't drink and he doesn't smoke. And Pop also said that Def Con never, messed with any of the girls in the neighborhood. The only girl that she knew him to be linked with was Rock. And I was like, ooh, do they know that Def Con was gay? Because you guys remember season 1 that they told us that Def Con was gay, right? And so at this point, they're telling him, his mother is competition. He's like, I don't care about my mother. I was like, you know what, you guys, JB is not gonna mention it anymore. I'm gonna try my hardest not to mention that stupid ass accent. I know it bothers me. I know it's funny because I do my videos and then I watch Rock's videos and she says the same thing. Like, we literally say the same thing about Kanan's accent, how it's so fucking annoying, right? But it is what it is, right? So at one point, Rock pulled up on Pops and Snaps and she's telling them like, hey, I need y'all to leave my fucking son alone, right? And they told her, we ain't got no business with Kanan. She says, but you are working with Ronnie. And they was like, and Pops was like, we only gave that weird ass nigga some money. I was like, bitch, y'all done gave him more than some money. Y'all are in business with that nigga. Stop lying, right? So at this point, Snaps is trying to be like, you trying to come at us sideways, bitch. We ain't afraid of you, Rock. We know who you working with. We know all this kind of stuff. Because she said it's people behind her that they can't see. They said, we know who you talking about. But Rock was like, bitch, I ain't fazed by y'all. Because y'all trying to say that y'all started this shit. I ain't worried about that. I ain't fucking with that. I ain't scared of that. I was like, ooh, Rock, I love it. Then, you guys, the end of the fucking episode. Bitch, when I tell y'all Raquel Thomas is smooth, she's a smooth criminal. So this bitch pulled up to Juliana's place, right? And Juliana told her, if you do anything to me, my cousin will have you. And she was like, bitch, Joaquin know I'm here. I was like, ooh. So Juliana was like, okay, I'll give you some money. Rock had that gun with that silence on it. Pop. She shot the bitch. And then she was like, she just basically here to finish what she should have done before when she was helping that bitch when she was getting slapped upside the head by her husband. And Rock said, pew, pew, pew. I was like, oh my God. I knew Juliana. I knew sis was gonna catch. I knew she was gonna get it. And it is what it is. I don't feel nothing for Juliana, you guys. I really don't. I just wonder if the Black Michael Myers is gonna put 2 and 2 together that Rock found out through Pernessa. I hope not. I hope not. Like, Jerome needs at least one parent. Oh my God. But that's it, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.